Alrighty. Howdy neighbors, and welcome back. It gets so lonely here. Last time we had started a new route, kind of, and now we're in the village. But as it turns out, a plague swept through and we only have one person here, which is the gravedigger. We're just yet apart, look too eager to please and frown. I do really like the bone design of her outfit. It's small, humble one with a low ceiling and slanted walls. I can imagine it's such a small dwelling for the 6 spare bedroom. The so-called spare bedroom is, in all likelihood, the room her father slept in before the plague carried him off. I do not think that he would much like to spend the night in a room of a dead man. What choice do you have? You're tired. Rightfully so. It's all you could do to keep your eyes open. You run into the forest desperate to escape your pursuer. You no thought in your mind about finding some safe sanctuary, in which you could recuperate. You found this sanctuary. It'd be unreasonable to find faults with it. You want to learn to be more thankful for what you have. There are many people in the world with less. There is the father gravedigger, but she finished her preparations in her so-called spare bedroom. Is every bit as cramped as you feared it would be. This is bed. Comes as a relief. With the lodging so humble, you were half expecting a straw pallet. As tired as you might be, you cannot lie to yourself. You desire to sleep on the hang like an animal. Should the bed are clean, too. I like to discern from a cursory glance. Well, you're not expected to sleep upon. Oh, so you might be expected to sleep upon a sweat-soaked linen of a plague-riddled man, after all. It really is your lucky day. I'll do this too. Gravedigger says. Shyly, as she hands you the gown, sleeping. That might come in handy. Her clothes are shabby. You can say that again. Skirts go out of mud, and the hem's torn and ragged. This gown is one of my old ones. It was different, a bit of wear and tear, but it'll fit alright. And if nothing else, the nightgown from your benefactress with words of thanks. It is inappropriately appreciative. You cannot mask fatigue. When it overcomes you, you yawn. Like the gravedigger did not further notice. Oh, begging your pardon. I'm gonna keep you. I've been making myself scarce. Anything, though. With the need to ask. I'd be happy to help. Your brows her head. To you, like a grudge. And resolve, closing the door behind her with a thud. Tired though you are, you seem to find that you'd rather miss your host's company. It's wicked nature smiles. You must forget all your hardships. You have. And hitherto endured like a lot of this British. And perhaps, however, it's almost unbearably cold and hospitable. First you shut out and clothe yourself. Work as quickly as you're able to with the cold. But with the buttons of your blouse. Give you more time than you would like to complete this endeavor. As soon as your shirt and skirt. As soon as you have your shirt and skirt dispensed with. You're too tired to fold them neatly. You're not bothered to fold them at all. Then you cast it carelessly upon the floor. As defined as a sulky child. A pull on your nightgown. The early warnings are apt enough, not quite warm, but full enough. More comfortable at least than an old uniform. You endured worse. Then you just read for bed. Loosened your hair and braids settled down among the sheets. A sigh of... Oh, but with the sigh you extinguish the weakly flickering candlelight. Burns on your bedside. Another sigh. You lay your head upon your pillow. Really exhausted. Don't wonder whether you would be able to sleep at all. Your previous dash to the floors with such vivid detail your heart is pounding. The fear has yet to leave you. It will never leave you. Your terror was such. It felt as though it was suffused itself to your bones. Your being. Your exhaustion is greater. Your worldly anxieties. Soon it claims you. and it's full shot at your breathing, inevitably because it's even out. Long until you're spiraling through the dark, deep abyss, lost in Morpheus' kingdom. We sleep decide your word seed, and then sort of as you'd hoped. Imagination has always been overactive, and at the conservatory, frequently beset by appearance the most vivid nature. That night, I made the unfamiliar sheets on an unfamiliar bed, and less than usual. You're back in the place where your adventure of yours begins. Your crisp white blouse, you once discarded, and a grey unmarked skirt. First tied in braids at your eyes, downturned forever forced sweaty feet, and looked at classmates, and thought yourself fortunate they'd not look at you in turn. Don't want anyone to notice you. That awful winter. That is when no one stopped paying attention to you for good. We tried to trip you when we walked past them in the hallways. But in fact, so much as glanced at you. All of a sudden, you know merciless whispers, no wicked laughter, no pulled hair, no thrown objects. We get with relief at first. This newfound mint tormenting you that your classmates have devised. Little game. We played in utter disregard. Continued and on and on and on and on. The days grew shorter and the nights grew longer. Time passed, you began to fret. They had grown corporeality. Could anybody still see you? Wish you didn't exist at all. Then all at last you found it. Quite by accident, so was why you rose. One of the girls had acted in the forest, through which you were sometimes bidden to jog the PE class, shade cast by an old oak tree. Makeshift tombstone, small mirage monument made of stone. It was one of your classmates had a name, your name. You knew at once as you stood there, and beneath the shade of an ancient tree, with the reason behind your classmates' silence. That they had for all those months been ignoring you so assiduously. They buried you. In their hearts you were dead. Eerie dream notwithstanding, you sleep more comfortably than you had anticipated. When you wake the following morning, to the sweet chirping of birdsong, you are well rested, albeit woozy, yet aching. It is nothing, however, that a cup of hot tea cannot fix. You walk to the kitchen, in your night clothes, and your lucid feet bare, your digger turns to you. She looks at your face, pasty in your under eyes, which are dark, flames in a manner of one accustomed to solving problems, not contemplating about them. Oh, you look awful. I think you need some warm drink. You need something to eat too. We can start on breakfast. Exactly what she does. We start on breakfast, which is a quite simple affair. Nothing luxurious food you were accustomed to in your past life. But it's hard enough to break your teeth on, and the cheese is too strong. It's food all the same, though. You do not complain. It is beginning to grumble. The tea is inoffensive, at least. You drink it gratefully. Thank the gravedigger girl for her hospitality, and she smiles at you in turn. Let me smile. Look at the living bellflowers. No problem. But they need to ask me if you need anything else. She says. I'm just going to symbolize your relationship. The gravedigger for many, many more days. And limited though term means by be. I was supposed to help you. Gravedigger said that you chores about the house to keep you occupied. A fact for which you are grateful. Introduce something to keep your mind off your frantic flight to the forest. Don't forget about it now during the day. In the night, however, it returns to you. You feet against the foliage, running fog. When you sleep, you're assailed by nightmares. Sometimes you awake at midnight, twisted around your body, your mouth gaping open in a paroxysm of horror. When you try to tell yourself otherwise, you're still afraid. The gravedigger makes you feel less sorrow, though, particularly when you sweep the floor, keeping an eye on the bread loaves so they do not burn. It knows the domestic chores, while the gravedigger concerns herself with the work she knows best, digging graves. Her dog presence, when it comes to the pursuit, intrigues you. Especially that you cannot help but also a question to her one particular morning. The sky is strewn with clouds. Why, you ask her, the touch sensitively. To the graves. I would have left it for all to dig them for. It was impractical. I cannot see the point of it. The point of it? Gravedigger ponders, holding a precious shovel to her chest. Actually, she doesn't seem to by her question, but its bluntness. She got herself lucky. Her temperament is so very placid. I don't suppose there's any point to it, really. Gravedigger eventually says, with a small smile. Well, it doesn't have any practical purpose, but maybe it's what my father did. Showed me how to do it, so I can continue his legacy. Brother wanted to keep our family tradition going. And I was want to do the same. I'll never do it early. That's all, is it? I can understand that. Your companion's actions might appear to be illogical. The kernel of reason nestled among them. It doesn't dig graves out of purpose. Just as it is said, out of sentiment. Besides, I want to do something to keep myself busy, don't I? My days idling on my own. I'm mad. I'm doing lost death. So the prospect of my own madness is amusing. I laugh. With his slender stature, not particularly delicate. Mind you, not so kindly, with the bring of a horse. That's rude. You have to think of such a thing, though. My face flushed filled a bit. Cannot all be well-bred young ladies, you know. No. Gravedigger, as it echoes with gray, gloomy sky, eventually desperate. Not forced. Well, too, is such unnatural. We just grin, of course. Mine, despite her attempts to turn her laughter with a giggle. I do not. Cannot pity her. Created indoors briefly, done with the gravedigger, and set about simple chores. Digger trusts you well enough to manage sweeping the floor, task which does not take particularly long. The bring of meals, a task which takes slightly longer. A few weeks later, however, the sun has already sunk beneath the horizon, the moon is high in the sky. The gravedigger returns from outdoors. His wind swept after many hours spent with the elements. He stirred cake beneath her fingernails. The digger removes her cloak. She hangs by the door. The pots spun over the fire. She stoked with her own fair hands. Cooking food, out of garlic and onions, with the air. And there will be no vampires. You're seeing the interior of the kitchen, a homey aroma, and grumble. You look at this, the gravedigger smiles at you. With a smile, despite her status as a lovely peasant, is surprisingly clean, robed in white. Thanks so much, dear one. Turning from the hardest work to find dinner already prepared. Let me give it a test. Jake dips the spoon into the soup and raises it to her lips. Close upon it. With the spoon in her mouth. A utensil knocking against her teeth. With a touch of anxiety. It's like the food which you prepared for her. For one's past. A big complimentary of her efforts. Cooking is not your forte, however. You had to concern yourself with it early. Growing up in a privileged effort as you did. I think you had this rural rustic mode of existence more than any privileges from past life. It is now the gravedigger, your steadfast friend, honest ally. You're with her, you're not alone. And that's worth its weight in gold. Gravedigger exclaims. After turning the spoon from her lip, her smile a bright, goalless one. Delicious. Blushes at the compliment. And aggressive to receiving them. It makes you feel good. At least the gravedigger truly meant it. I want to trace the gravedigger's smile. As I mean it. Quite good at cooking, really. With relief. You were not really good at all this cooking malarkey at the beginning. You didn't know how to handle a knife, how to peel a vegetable, cut yourself more than once. You blended the soup on several occasions. Never once did you throw the soiled soup out. Oh my god. Oh my god. Do not do that. After your life as a humble assistant said she cannot afford to waste precious ingredients. The soups during your stay were seasoned with lettuce and of iron. It's your power was worth it over the rest. You did not cut yourself with a knife even once. You make many compliments. You're not empty fluff. You really are improving. Sure you're to serve. Number 2. You need... I should make some tea too. Let me. Get the tea. You may be forgetting something. It's in the soup. Slipped your mind. You flushes yet again. The oversight. Tried the offer to correct it. Digger, however, reads your request aside. And I was alright. Eat the dinner. Over the tea. The bear. It took not long. I turned the soup while I'm busy. Of course you wouldn't mind. You enjoy making yourself useful. But look at you. You're awfully domestic. You also have the grave digger to finish your nightly meal, and together you serve it. Soup and bread, with the 2 cups of piping hot tea, prepared by your hostess's own 2 hands. Together at the table and partake in a simple fare. Everything grace. The soup really is quite good, but it being made from only commonplace ingredients. Bit of a kick to it. Roasted from the inside out. Tea, meanwhile, is very soothing. Most so, he's rather sleepy. You would like to sit with the grave digger a little longer and tell stories. As if sometimes in the past, and like hearts. Not too long. There's no better way to pass the time than spending time with her. She's well made. Alas, we'll have to wait. Too tired for it. Don't know what has happened. Doing your vegetables? You feel utterly fatigued. When you're predicament to the grave digger, between her yawns, she nods in response. Sorry, I didn't stay up with me. I've been up to it. You can head off to bed and rest the pretty head ears. You're particularly pretty, but I presume the grave digger is just a great shading phrase to you. She doesn't truly mean it. How could she? She's more pretty than you are. Thank the grave digger for understanding. Lives on the table. You just her bedroom on trembling legs. You tie your clothes. You just slid into your nightgown when you hear a rapping of knuckles on the door, light and unobtrusive. And good, of course, belong to but one person. The grave digger. Let me check up on you. I'm sorry. The grave digger says, her voice soft, but I rushed to your room so soon after eating. I'm just worried about you. Do you mind if I take a look at you? I want to see if you're alright. Digger's trying to keep her voice steady. You can hear the wavering regardless. It does sound so concerned. Or so. It was very old beyond the brink of tears. I want her to cry for you. I feel horribly guilty if you upset her. Even inadvertently, you know she's done for you. With the grave digger entry to your room, therefore. Without further delay, an invitation she ceases to make. Who swings inward with a crack. And there your hostess stands. Still attired in black, but with a stark contrast to your pure white, no off-white, nightgown. She looks at you, seated in bed, with her hair freed from your usual braids, and exhales. A relief, you wonder, lying about her face. Why? She expected to see, exactly, entering your bedchamber. You fling me in, Dick says, throwing with fingers. How do you feel? At your table, you reassure. And up to get the problems with your health. You just feel tired. Are you sure you're not sick? You still look pale. That would be nothing out of the norm. You were always pale. True. Now, is there anything I can do for you? Like something more to drink, or maybe a hot break to place in your bed? Keep you warm. You should though thoughtfulness, but do reassure her that that won't be necessary. You'll be fine. I hope so. That's my father too before you. Your begins, but her voice soon trails off. The first thought. didn't need to. I don't know what she's thinking of when she entered her bedroom. With baby skin, a sweating brow, rank, losing pustules. Look upon these symptoms. It was similar to those recounted during the Great Plague, which you most beside your own country, and you shudder. Oh, anything, that'll be my way. Dick says, but before that, what? Just the fifth in my part, but I was wondering. Do you mind if I brushed your hair for a little while? Here. What's that? Pretty shade of red. That's all. I just thought. I feel just the fancy early. Don't blame me. We don't want to, but that might have to relax if the weather. It's supposed to be soothing. What the gravedigger says, I have a distinct feeling that she is the one looking for solace here. Not quite so selfless, perhaps, as she would like you to think. So good to you. And so very much for you. I don't want to urge her small self-indulgence. I think she deserves it. I agree therefore to her request. On doing so, you're certain they made their choice. His face lights up immediately, and the man which makes you blush. Oh, thank you. It'd be my honor. Let me fetch my brush. Gravedigger retreats into her room in a hurry, but returns soon thereafter, holding in her hand the bronze brush. Back to quiet, the gravedigger then fiddles herself upon her bed, at her side. They give her a few moments, her expression pensive. She knows the show begin. Gravedigger leans in. With the bed creaks under her weight. Which it melts with the sighing of the breeze outdoors. The brush running through her hair. Really enough, which so makes you shiver. The sensation's a pleasant one, somewhat nostalgic. Your mother did this for you, you wonder, when you were a little girl. If she did, it's when you were a very little girl. I've seen your mother for some time. And after you enrolled. There's a lovely hair, dear one. It's soft like silk, and all like mine. It's so coarse. The gentle voice draws you out of your vague, half-formed reminiscence. The gravedigger is lost in a social room. Her voice makes his face dreamy. I think my mother used to brush my hair like this for me. I think she's alive. That's been a long time ago, though. It's funny, you think, this brush, as the bristles of the brush continue to slide through your tresses. And the gravedigger should have both be reminiscing in tandem about your respective mothers. Perhaps it's something eternal in the act of brushing one's hair, which is a potent summoning for such images. I would not know personally, nor my own mother at all. I don't think I liked having my hair brushed very much. Richard continues. My form against the exposed nape of your neck. Please complain that it's going too much. I remember that. You was told to sit still. It was my fault I squirmed. Used too much force. I was curious. The rumors of the gravedigger are not particularly fun after all. I get along with their mother. I could say. Richard replies. Lower sort of voice. I was young. Like I said, she died. I don't really remember her too well. I don't think she ever had much time for me. She was busy with all the cooking and cleaning. I looked after my baby brothers. She had time enough despite that to brush her hair. She had every cheek she had to. Regularly presentable. But it really worked. Wasn't like the other girls in the village, you see. I like to sit indoors with their mother and sew. I love the outdoors. My father said I inherited that from him. Hopefully, the gravedigger smiled. And you could see it from my back facing her. And said I was very maidenly. I didn't like that I always traipsed around outside after my father, wasn't it? As he dug graves. That wasn't appropriate. I was a sort of princess wearing a fanged dress. The baby snorts. Things get a bit muddy, yeah. Maybe I did get burns in my clothes and that's my hair. It shouldn't have mattered. Not that I never had hopes of marrying a prince. Not what my mother said. She hoped. Had a lot of hopes, my mother. High hopes. I think she might have resented my father. Maybe. It's such a menial job. Our profession is an honest one. I've never made much money. I was hoping for fine jewels and dresses, and I don't know. It was had ideas. That was full of fairy tales. It's a shame, I suppose. Reality didn't match what she wanted. I didn't match up to what she wanted. Your friend's voice is unmistakable. Or so you want to console her. What would you say to her, though? Major Companions' mother. Never will either. Old and human body, living in a graveyard. Buried beneath the tombstone for over a decade. There's no way of asserting whether your companion's mother truly cared for her. You have intelligence enough to understand that all they thought of condolences was more harm than good. We're not letting people try to reassure you. Of course. Not that of course your father really loved you. If he loved you, why did he send you away from home? And he never sent you any letters. He was worried about his finances. But it seems a poor excuse to pretend that only daughter did not exist. Your own mother, meanwhile. She was nice. I think she was. Woefully ineffectual. She was nominally an adult. She was believed before your father's judgment. I think she was afraid of him. You tried to tell the gravedigger, therefore, that your mother loved her. That she must have done what she would not have given birth to her. There, letting her brush with your hair. You say quietly that you understand. Once you feel like it would disappoint myself. Well, Jacob says after a pause. I'm not the only one. It helps to all of us. Yes, so. It's only people after all. I hope one's parents would be kind and attentive. They too could fall victim to Capri Suns of their own. Just because one was brought a child into the world doesn't mean one is able to take care of it properly. Amen. Parents are responsible. Like not all people are responsible. And it's painful subject. Oh. The heart of my mother never liked me. She never loved me. And my father did. That's all that matters. It was there for me no matter what. Brandon's voice catches in her throat. She winces. This until he wasn't. He died. I had to think to help him. And his shoulders started to shake. Not fear. I feel her body convulsing. Their loneliness rolling up her in waves. I'm assuming that the waters of deep dark ocean. Grief anew pierces your heart. On your behalf. Think of your benefactors. She does not deserve to suffer so much. This you have no qualms telling her. In her face her, the brush, hovering in the air, and earth from her fingers. You let her know that her father's death was not her fault. What she have done. She could not have cured his illness. I know, but I can't think what if. Wrapping my head over and over, I'd go up some. I can't think of anything. If I could, it's too late. He's dead. Dead and buried. I buried him. And I'm all alone. I'd have been alone. Told the gravedigger. She isn't now. Not anymore. Where'd she be when you were there? I know that. I know and I'm grateful. I don't deserve it. Why does she not deserve your company? I don't understand. I do none for nobody. He always looked out for me. I was a little girl. And me most I failed him. Failed everyone. All the villagers and my friends all died. What could I do if the same thing happened to you? I don't think I could bear it. I don't want you getting sick too. I only care for it so much. I thought I'd gotten used to being on my own. Now that you're here, it's making me worried all over again. I'm worried so much I can't sleep from it. I'm scared. The voice catches in her throat. She collapses in on herself. She's bored. She's wound her in the middle. At the steady herself, she cries. She cries. 3 moments. The gravedigger showed what to do. The old face streaked with silvery tears. The flicker in the candlelight. Shoulders seem too slender to bear the accumulative weight of all the sorrows she had endured shaking. Her tea continues to cling to you. As distant as the fog which rolls amongst the tombstones of the graveyard at night. I'm so tired, however, that you cannot offer your hostess some comfort. You do not know what you can say to console her. Too worried to think of pretty sophisms. There is something you can't think of. You're not typically be so bold. Oops. You're tired enough once, of course, for the wind. And I trust the gravedigger awfully everything. Yay! You open her arms in. The gravedigger could pass comment. Would pull her to your chest. Oh, that motion is useless to be a dare. Quieter than the sound of wintry snow as it brushes the ground. There's nothing. You're stiff in your arms for moments. Like the corpse she and her father used to seal away inside their wooden coffins. So wide-eyed and awkward, pointed elbows. You're still coursing her pale cheeks. Very briefly, as you hold her, that you have perhaps made a mistake. Your attempts of consoling her too clumsy. And you would not know. You've never been in a situation like this before. Never consoled any friends before. You've never had any friends to console. This one now, however, as far away from your old self as you could possibly be. Gravedigger does not curse you, your impudence. Neither does she try to swim away from you. But she sits there, a statue cradled in your arms. I'm very sorry to show you. I'm so embarrassed and I get so lonely sometimes. Till at long last, by the sob, she lets the full weight of her body fall against you. Hands against your sobbing painted shoulder. Blade. Oh my god, I read it as like 2 separate sentences. Her shoulder blades in her back. Gently, you soothe her. Not that she doesn't need to apologize. There's no shame in crying. You hold her for many, many minutes while she sobs against your chest and the front of your nightgown. The words pass between you that night, but they don't need to. The relevant in the moment centers this: between 2 souls who have come to understand one another through mutual loneliness. Beneath the sheets, you feel exhausted. Rodrigo joins you without asking permission. It would be unnecessary of politeness, really. When your acceptance is all but assured. Why do you accept the gravedigger after all? The knowledge of her. You accept her hospitality. You accept her food. You accept her company. You yourself beneath the sheets. Guard her body to yours. Her hair is not yet changed into a nightwear. It's still horribly rumpled. And she awakes from the following morning, referencing his chest. But tomorrow is the matter. No longer exists. Because of time between you two. The thought of a day will dawn once the night inevitably ends. That there's only the warmth shared between you. Most cheeks the gravedigger, and there is sound, regular now, not the tense before, companion's muted, muffled sobs. This gentle, tender moment, flashed in the midst of deep, dark night, which can never be replaced. Hands fall heavy, the weight down with stones. And I'm going to end this episode here. Jesus Christ. Well, thank you very much for watching, and hopefully I will see you later.